Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. Okay, as much as we don't want to see this, we are getting closer and closer and closer. The United States, or the West, but for all intents and purposes, that means us, because everybody else just kind of follows along whatever the United States decides, and we finance the whole thing anyway. We are getting closer and closer and closer to being involved in this Middle East war. Let's put it this way. Y'all remember the name Christopher Stevens, right? Okay. The U.S. ambassador to Libya who was killed in a attack on the U.S. embassy, and Hillary Clinton's comment, what does it matter? Okay. Because she did nothing as Secretary of State, protect the embassy. Well, we might have a little problem, and I want you to take a look at this video real quick. That is Beirut, Lebanon, okay? And what you just saw was a crowd of people marching toward the U.S. Embassy to storm the embassy. Now, what has happened yet, we don't know, because this is relatively recently developed. But what happens if it's the same thing as what happened in Libya with Ambassador Stevens? Okay. Of course, the Lebanese are supporting Hamas in this, and the U.S. is the enemy. Okay. No, that's not the only thing. Take a look at this. That video is from Turkey, where the Turks, the Muslim Turks, are trying to breach the U.S. airbase that we have in Turkey, try to get in and hit the Americans. Okay. Yeah. They are trying to drag the United States into this. Let's give you just what's happened here overnight. Okay, like I said, Beirut, you got the pro-Palestinian protesters swarming the embassy. Okay, you got tear gas and fires going on around that. Okay, you have what's going on in Istanbul. Besides what I just showed you, you had protesters breach the Israeli consulate. Okay. You had the Iranian President Raisi threatening the flames of the United States and Israeli bombs will soon consume Israel. Okay. You have the Israeli embassy in Jordan that was reportedly stormed by a mob. Okay. You have in Iran massive crowds outside the British embassy. Okay. And in Iraq, you have massive protests in the streets supporting Hamas. Do you see where this is going? We are going to be goaded into this war. Again, let's go to the beginning here. A week ago this past Saturday, Hamas started all of this. They want a war, period. 100% blame is on Hamas. Whatever any of these airheads that say it's Israel's fault and, they've oppressed the people and apartheid and all that crap, bullshit, okay? Hamas was the one that went in and started sending rockets into Israel and then murdering civilians, raping women, killing babies, etc., okay? Period. You can argue all you want. You ain't changing my mind. I've got the facts on my side. I'm not a liberal. I don't get ruled by my emotions. This is 100% Hamas's fault. Israel is going to defend themselves. Period. Good. Blow the shit out of them. I don't care. But now you have the rest of the Arab world trying to support Hamas against Israel. And I get the fact that the Arabs have hated the Israelis for centuries. Okay, you know, they're heathens. They've never moved into the 10th century, let alone the 21st. But when they drag the U.S. into it, this is what we have to look forward to. The kids being drafted, okay, because we don't have enough people in our military, period. And they're going to need boots on the ground. They're going to need bodies to throw at it. It's going to be our kids, our grandkids. They're going to need billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to support this, because you're not fighting in one little area, i.e. Eastern Ukraine. This would be the entire Middle East where you'd have battles going on. Look how well we did in Afghanistan, and look how much that cost us. That was a couple of $1 trillion. This would be bigger, and we're going to pay for it. If Joe gets us into this war, which Joe wants, no doubt, okay? Joe wants to be a wartime president. He thinks he's somehow Douglas MacArthur and George Patton rolled into one, you know, that Joe is some great military mind, and he's surrounded himself with, you know, the best and brightest in the military, you know, who are waving yellow cards and dildos around, because, you know, that's leadership. The troops in the military, I have confidence in them. The leadership, none. Okay. This is what we have to brace ourselves for. This will utterly destroy our economy. We can't afford another war. And we don't even know what's going to go on with China yet, because you know damn well Xi Jinping is sitting there going, okay, as soon as the U.S. gets involved in China, in the Middle East, there's no resistance in Taiwan whatsoever. You know, somebody asked me last night on the live stream what the amount of oil we had in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, you know, which is basically to fuel our military. And Scott had got back with me last night and had found the answer. We have 10% of our, what do you want to call it, vessels filled with oil. 10%, okay? We're 90% empty, all right? You know, as Scott found this information, okay, Biden's removed 287 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I just want to give you this. He sold most of it to China. Just telling you that part, okay? The average price of the oil that was in the SPR when Biden took office was $29.70 per barrel. Today, oil is about $88 a barrel. There's talk all over the place oil's going to $150 a barrel because of this war. How do you think that is going to affect our economy? I talked about that the other day when we see $10, $15, $20 a gallon of gas, okay? Back when Trump wanted to refill the SPR, top it off, okay, we weren't down 90%, oil was $19.70 a barrel. The Democrats said, we don't have the money, the $768 million that would have taken the top off the SPR, okay? Now, we don't have any oil. Oil is 4 times plus what it was when Trump wanted to top it off, and now we're going to war. What do you think that's going to do? All those preparations that we've made for wartime, we've talked about rationing and ration cards, and I mean, not just me, but every channel out there has talked about this. What if that comes? Guys, we could potentially be on the cusp of World War III. You know, I mentioned Nostradamus one time saying that World War III would be started by a man in a turban. Hello. Okay. The Middle East has always been a mess. I mean, and I don't care. Take Israel out of the picture, okay? The Shiites and the Sunnis don't get along. All they do is war. I mean, just, heathens, barbarians, backward ass people who haven't got out of the 6th century is what we're fighting for. We need to go in there, decimate the entire area. And as much as everybody bitched and said, oh, Iraq was a war for oil, you know what? Let's go get ours. Period. Okay? You're out. You're done. You can work for us. We're coming in, cleaning up this mess. We're taking the oil, and that. Pinball out.